So I've been reading this book called Discourses on Livy by Niccolo Machiavelli. And it's a very interesting read, very good information, and a lot to take in. So, on the side, I make notes and I highlight to really take in all this information. But one interesting fact here, or one interesting passage here, is when he talks about virtue. Uh, and he talks about city building, right? Now, what he says here is it's recognized in two ways. The first is the selection of the site. The other is the establishment of laws. It goes on to say, men work either from necessity or from choice. And it goes on to say, and because it is seen here that virtue is greater where choice has less authority, which results from necessity, it is something to be considered whether it would be better for the building of a city to select sterile places, which means no resources, nothing there. Basically, you have to start a city from scratch. Where men are constrained to be industrious and less occupied with idleness, and they should live more united, because the site is full of no resources or no resources at all. Not, I shouldn't say full of, but there's poverty. There should be less cause for discord. And he gives the example of Ragusa. Then he goes on to say, as men are not able to make themselves secure except through power, which is true, right? You always have to have power as men or as women or women. It is necessary to avoid the sterility of the country and to locate it in fertile places. So resources are important, right? So if you have like sugar or beef, whatever, and another territory wants it, stuff like that, or you control the grain resources for that region, you have power, right? With a sterile land, nobody wants it. People are going to leave you alone, but it's more work. But with a resource, it's less work. It goes on to say men are more idle in this type of environment. And in this type of environment, you do need defense, so you do have soldiers. So his interpretation of cities is pretty mainstream, right? I mean, you look at it in today's standards, and you see current events. So you see the Iraq War, right? What was the Iraq War really about? Well, if you look at the region of Iraq, it has oil fields. So there's resources over there. So you attack that resource, right? Because there's resources, but we wouldn't go into a country. I can't think of a country where there's no resource. One of the African countries, we wouldn't go in there and take that land or start a war in that land because there's no resources. So we leave them alone. So I mean, you can tie this in current events to that nature. You can also tie it to in certain situations of turmoil, such as a natural disaster and whatnot. People come together. People become united to clean up the city. So that's how I interpreted it as, it may be wrong, it may be dead wrong, but that's the way I see it. I look at it in different point of views. So that's it for this video. I'm probably gonna make more of these videos. I have more stuff that I want to talk about, but I'm not gonna make the video like 50 minutes long. If you have any comments or feedback, you're welcome to put it in my comment section. And if I'm getting anything wrong, just tell me. So I know doing something like this is kind of early for me to do it since I'm just reading the book. I'm like on page like 10 or 11. But feel free to comment if you do watch this video. Thank you.